Alright, Merts, welcome to the CineMerts podcast with Max Colson and Levi Johnson. We're a couple of guys who like films, all sorts of films. It doesn't matter whether they're Hollywood, Bollywood, Squallywood, whether they're Collywood. Today we watched They Live. Your first time watching?
Very first time. I think the only thing I knew about the movie going in was that I'd seen the scene where the guy's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably more famous from Duke Nukem, because Duke Nukem recycles just all of the famous lines from Duke Nukem are taken from movies. They're all just movie lines, which was a thing. What's that other game? That super racist first-person shooter. I think
Bubsy the Bobcat. He's always saying movie lines.
Bubsy does do that.
And in Bubsy 3D, you can't shoot. You go in first person.
You heard it here first, folks. Bubsy is racist.
Yeah.
Hashtag cancel Bubsy.
Just him and Garfield, getting fucking, cancelled,
The great thing is, if that actually happened, there'd be a bunch of right-wingers who were suddenly standing up for Bubsy and wanted to play it.
Bubsy 3D was a great...
Bubsy 3D is a great game. Posting photos on Facebook to own the libs and then playing, one of the worst 3D platformers ever made.
Oh my god. Just Jeremy from the quartering.
Okay, we actually need to cancel Bubsy. Just so that all the right-wingers just suddenly start playing it and just, having a bad time playing a really bad video game. In some weird attempt to own it as.
Oh my god, this would be amazing. King Bubsy 3D is the worst.
Anyway, today we watched They Live, which is a very good movie that also is fucking just a celebration of the fact that it's trash, whilst also being just really good.
Yeah.
On a basic it's really well paced. It's really really solid.
Yeah, nice.
Basic plot rundown. What the fuck is Roddy Piper's name in it?
I don't know now. I wasn't really going to go with names because...
Fuck it, Roddy Piper, the maniac himself, he is a homeless drifter. He's been made redundant.
Got some real Rambo feel.
Yeah. He rides the rails in. He does start working pretty much straight away. He starts working for a construction company, but he's still homeless.
Yeah.
So he's just living in a little sort of shanty town homeless camp sort of thing. It starts off really just kind of showing you what life is like for him in this world, right? It's just there are little foreshadowy things for things that will come, like him walking past the preacher who is, saying that there's someone else who's in control and all this.
Yeah, and then the police just show up and you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. But generally, it's just sort of showing him getting by, living day to day. The big sort of thing is that they're watching TV and the TV signal gets interrupted and it's this, it's like a fucking, you even said, Alex Jones style guy ranting into a camera. We're not in control of anything. We're just cattle. We're just...
And now they're turning the freaking Frogs Day!
Yeah, the TV signal gets interrupted and everyone complains about getting a headache when it's interrupted. And then it seems to go back to normal. And there's a church that's open really, really late that Roddy notices.
Yeah.
So he basically gets curious enough that he knows his way in. And there's a tape recorder that's playing the choir.
Oh, wait, we totally forgot. While at work, Roddy Piper meets Captain Anderson.
Oh, yeah. In a lovely pink vest.
Oh, yeah. I totally was like, are they... is he sending them, vibes? Because, Roddy Piper's working shirtless, just digging and stuff, and, Captain Anderson just looks over and is like, nice bod, Shepard.
Yeah, 80s. There isn't even a Venn diagram between 80s manliness and just gay. It's a circle.
It really I was like, oh, is this a thing? Because the way, I don't know, just the way he looks then the way the camera watches Roddy Piper,
it's really like Mel Gazy. It's
I was
Mel
like,
Gazy.
this is really like, just watching a dude work out. That guy's he's in good shape.
Yeah, it's like watching a Zack Snyder movie.
Like, we still need to watch that Tyler Perry movie because it has the female gaze. The camera focuses on triceps. Like, triceps. It's really good, and he's sweaty as well. Like, it's amazing. Like, just for that one scene, I was like, we need to do this movie.
So anyway, that is a sort of important thing because, it becomes important later. But yeah, he checks out the church, and the choir is fake. It's just a tape recorder.
Mm.
And then we see the other side of that, which is, the people who hacked the TV signal are operating out of the church.
Yeah.
But you're still not really in on what's happening. He gets sort of accosted by the blind preacher who was speaking in the beginning, who kind of fills up his face in his hands, and he's like, "Oh, you're a working man, I can trust you." But by that point, Roddy's like, "Yeah, this is weird, I'm leaving."
Right.
So he fucks off. The next thing that really happens is the shantytown gets raided by the police, which is a scene that I feel like is the first scene where it's like, man, this movie had some real bollocks.
Yeah. Like,
bear in mind, this is like a pre-Rodney King fucking movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just got, it's just like, oh, shit, like, the cops show up and they're just, like, roughing up, like, just the homeless people.
Yeah. To be fair, I ain't gonna
including beating up an old blind man.
Yeah. Like, I was really shocked because I was like, wait. Like, one, like you're saying, like, this is a movie in the 80s, before, like, Rodney King stuff, and the police are literally just destroying a shanty town and roughing up some people. At the same time, I'm like, holy shit, after 2020, these police are actually being pretty light. Like, I'm sure it's more to do with the fact that they couldn't just have stunt doubles everywhere. They're like, these extras can't be getting beaten up. But, like, it's like they start just moving people out the way while they destroy their homes. Like, they just, like, get out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like, in real life, they're just fucking brutal. Like,
yeah. But then, right as you were saying that.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, this is impressive. Like, there's not even been a single old man just horribly...
Yeah, literally as you were saying it, it cut to an old man getting beaten up and then panned across and it's the old blind man getting beat up.
Which I do love, because he was like, I ain't going down. He full on just goes stink meaner. Like, just swinging and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. I smell a bitch in you.
Roddy kind of escapes the police, and he runs down an alleyway, and there's a kid who's about to get sort of caught. So he kind of grabs the kid and is like, come with me, and then he kind of awkwardly edits to a window. So they like climb through the window and kind of get it. Like, does the kid get caught? I can't remember.
He
actually does get
gives him to some rando dude who's just doing some drugs.
Yeah. That's.
He's like, you stay with him.
Yeah. So the next day he's going to like kind of look for clues as to what happened, and he sees a box and he opens it up and it's just full of sunglasses. So he's like, okay, whatever. He takes one pair and just kind of leaves the rest. Like,
he's like, sunglasses. Like, they like destroyed the church and like ransacked the whole thing for some sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this?
And while he's walking, he just sort of casually puts them on. Oh shit. These ain't regular fucking sunglasses. These are some magic sunglasses. He puts them on, and first of all, everything's in black and white, which is a bit weird. And then he looks up at a sign, and it
just
changes it to just say obey. It's like an advertising billboard, and it just changes the advert to just say obey, which, if I remember rightly, is actually where the Obey brand got its thing from.
Really? Yeah, actually, I could see that.
Yeah. So anyway, he kind of, that's commodification.
Yeah, I was just thinking like commodification, man. Like.
Yeah. So he kind of keeps like taking them off, putting them on. If you've seen anything of the film, you've probably seen this scene because a lot of people like to do edits of it where they edit in different things onto the billboards and stuff. That was kind of usually you'd see GIFs of it quite a lot. In fact, I think Spoonie used to do one.
You know,
where it'd be his. It was just like his face or something on like one of the billboards. Like, I think there was like a GIF on his website. Yeah, he's like looking around. He goes past like a newspaper stand, and all of the newspapers say like, you know, stay asleep and all that.
Yeah.
There's that one restaurant sign that just says like
consume. Yeah.
And then like he looks down and like I like when the guy's like, hey, either buy it or get out. Like he's like at the newspaper stand and like he looks down at his money and on his money it just says, "This is your God."
Like, I'm surprised like he put like, "This is your God." Like I would have just had the paper say God on it. Like, but it's like, okay, like I think the movie might have something to say.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There could be like a certain leaning involved in this.
Yeah. It's probably about how like the left wing are taking over.
Yeah. Like they, you know, the left. they want more billionaires, like so they can control everything.
So he's like, you know, still kind of like stunned by this. He kind of gets into a bit of a staring match with this one guy who turns out some people are just fucking aliens with skull faces. So like there's this one dude in a business suit and he looks at him and he's like a fucking alien.
Yeah, just got like fucking zombie face. Like,
yeah.
I'm hoping this is where like the term ghouls is coming from, because I was like, man, these guys are like some ghouls. Like, is this where ghouls comes from? Because that's like a proper thing that the left likes to throw around.
It is. I don't know.
Like, I really do feel that the left throws it around like it's a real insult, but like, I don't think anyone actually cares about being called a ghoul.
No.
But I liked when Prince Andrew is like, "What's the matter? Never seen a ghoul?" Like that. I was like, okay, that's a good one. that was very funny.
Yeah, he goes into like a convenience store, and again, there's a whole bunch of aliens in there, in like the grocery store place, and then like he gets into there's this old woman, and he like yells at her and uses the strangest insult. It was like, was it, "You look like you dipped your head in the cheese whiz in the 50s?
Yeah, it's like, what?
No idea what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
It's just fucking bizarre.
I do like how the film, well, I say slowly, like the film does slowly kind of let you put the pieces together, because with like who the ghouls are. Like, because you see all the signs, which is cool, because seeing the signs and everything else, you know, maybe you could come to the wrong idea about like, you know, society being controlled by a small set of people, like, but then like you see a guy and he stood there and he's in like a fine suit and everything. He's an old white guy, and you're like, oh, okay. You know, you could still like misconstrue that, right? And then you look over and he's talking to like the black guy who's running the shop. It's like, oh, he's like a regular guy.
Yeah.
And then you in the shop, you sees like some old lady. He's like, "Jesus, like you look like shit." And you know, she's just wearing like. I love the fact that like to show that she's wearing nice clothes. Her dress is sparkly. She's just wearing a sparkly dress. And then he like looks to another lady and he's like, "You look all right though, but like this lady, she looks like shit." And then she's like, "We've got a seer, a one who can see."
Yeah, they all talk into like these little wristwatches.
So she was like, "Get woke, go broke, motherfucker."
Yeah, so he like gets kind of chased out of there. And then the police come. So he ends up fighting the police, taking one of their guns, and fucking shooting them. It's like, yeah, they're aliens, but again, like not only was that ballsy then, that wouldn't even be fucking made now. Like, I mean, yeah, this was a small time movie, so maybe it would, but like, fuck,
Yeah,
that was some ballsy shit. He just shot 2 policemen.
Yeah, right. Like,
so he then is that when he just gets it together to go on his little rampage in the bank?
Yeah, like
right after that,
he I think to me it seemed more like he was just walking and he had like the guns and then he was like, I need to kind of duck out of the way.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he was walked in and he's like, oh, it's a fucking bank.
Yeah, and that's where he says the line.
Yeah.
Which is, I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I'm here to kick bubblegum and chew ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So he, just shoots up a bunch of people in a bank, which is kind of worrying that the right wing misconstrued this movie, because, oh man, small set of people controlling everything. You should go and shoot up a bank.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe some of it shouldn't be made. It's don't get me wrong, it's a cool scene, but if there's any scene that borders on fucking dangerous, it's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Your delusions might be real, and if they are, maybe you should go and shoot some people.
Don't worry. They don't need a movie for it.
No, they don't. They've never needed one before, so...
And there's been worse movies. Falling Down exists.
Yes, it does. We're going to cover that one day, because fucking hell. I have some shit to say about that film.
Yeah.
Fucking Karen the movie.
I know, right? I can't believe he actually Karen's... Like, oh shit, Karen came out,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I want to see that movie. I don't care how many people are like, it's bad. Shut the hell up. It looks hilarious. And like, it's clearly meant to be funny. Like, I'm totally about it.
No, not really. No notes.
Yeah, me neither.
We had pizza. Pineapple pizza.
Haha.
Fuck everyone. He shoots up the bank, and then at that point he's like, man, I gotta fucking duck out, I gotta get somewhere. Mm-hmm. So he accosts this woman and kind of gets her to drive him to her place at gunpoint. In the worst way possible. Like you said, I don't know why he didn't just give her the sunglasses and tell her to put them on.
Yeah.
Rather than just be like, I'm just going to point a gun at you and act like a crazy person and just
and then be like, they're everywhere, man. Like, they're all over the place. And she's like...
Yeah, after she's at home where you probably can't really prove it.
Yeah, right. Like, put these on. So she can look at the wallpaper?
Yeah. It's like, oh, it makes everything black and white. That's weird. They get back to her place and he kind of goes crazy at her and she kind of takes the opportunity eventually to she shoots him, doesn't she? She throws him out the window. Yeah, that's it.
She's like, see you later, sucker. I've been taking all these judo classes.
Yeah. So she kicks him out the window and that's that. Yeah. So then he's
she makes a call to the police.
Yeah, she makes a call to the police. And he's like, oh shit, I need to get someone on my side. So he goes to
meet Captain Anderson.
Captain Anderson. So he's like, yo, put these on. And he's like, no.
He's like, no, I'm a thinly veiled allegory for liberalism. He's like, there's something wrong in the world, Anderson. He's like, Shepard, I don't want to know.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to know so bad. They get into a wrestling match. I vaguely recall something about Rowdy Roddy Piper actually choreographing this fight, and Probably because it's a wrestling match.
It's amazing.
It's so good, and it comes out of fucking nowhere.
Right?
Nothing like that happens in any of the rest of the movie. It's just a fucking wrestling match. This is what I mean when I say that this movie is kind of trash as well.
Like, they were clearly like, we're both kind of in shape dudes. Well, we've got to show off our physical prowess somehow, right?
Yeah. So it's like, I can imagine that in the script just being like they have a like slight tussle that maybe lasts a few seconds and that's it.
Like the fight clearly has like two endings to the fight.
Yeah.
And then the fight carries on. Like there's the knockdown where Captain Anderson's like, you see, Shepard, I told you not to fight me. Now come here. And then like helps him up. And then he's like, and now the fight is back on.
Yeah, which is a standard thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
It happens all the time in wrestling. Like, oh, I'll help you up. No, psych, I'm going to hit you because I'm the heel. Like, it's so standard. And then like...
And then there's the second time that the fight clearly ends where they like are fighting and then like he smashes his car and he's like, you son of a bitch. And he's like, no, I'm sorry, man. So the fight's back on.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. The thing is though, like I say, as schlock as it is, it's a well shot fight scene.
Yeah.
It's like especially look, we've said it before, but it's so nice to see fight scenes that are shot really sparingly. There's not an edit every time anyone does anything. There's not like 50 edits per punch. It's just mostly like there's a lot of long takes actually.
Yeah. I was like,
there's a lot of long with very slight camera movement. It's just slight dolly movement side to side. Like, and then they'll cut like on every few punches. They'll like cut to another angle.
Yeah, but the cuts are always like, we need a better angle so we can see what's happening better.
Yeah.
It's
They're
never
purposeful.
like...
It's not just so you can hide the bad choreography.
Yeah.
No, you get to see all of that wonderful wrestling choreography in all its glory. Even though that's not how human beings fight at all.
It's interesting though, because I saw something a little while back and it was like anime fights from the 80s, because I think it was City Hunter. I think City Hunter got like a new version of it or something, but it has an anime fight that's in the 80s style, and I was like, anime fights in the 80s? I don't know what they mean. And then like two buff dudes are there, like there's like a bit of a shootout and two buff guys are there. And then what do? Like they're like, right, let's fight. So they get into like their stance with their hands up and then they lock arms. And they do that thing where they both overpower each other to move their arms down to the bottom. And I was like, this did used to happen all the time. Yeah! And then there's like a headbutt and like a fucking suplex. And I was like, yeah, I forgot that's it. And yeah, it's kind of literally just watching like fights from the 80s where it's like, oh yeah, shit. Like, people would do this. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, totally. This is, I mean, I love that fight scene though. This fight scene is great. And it doesn't really make much sense. It's not really earned, but it's cool.
Like, I'll go with it. Like, Captain Anderson was really like, look, I'm a lib, but I don't want to see. Like, which...
Oh, yeah.
I at that point, I was like, this needs to be a thing. This needs to be a thing. Like,
let's
put on
put
the
it
glasses.
This way. It's built up to... Yeah, I'm going to rip on the MCU again. It's built up to better than like 90% of the heroes end up fighting each other so we can see what that matchup looks like. Moments in Marvel movies.
Yeah, like the first Avengers movie was fun to watch, but it was like, why do they even fight each other any of those times?
Yeah, there's that. Like the Avengers definitely. The fucking Ant-Man like Falcon fight in the first Ant-Man. That's
weird.
Fucking stupid. That was like,
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that felt like it was like, we need to get another hero in there, and it's like, yeah, it's dumb.
I thought the Hulk, Iron Man in the Hulkbuster armor fight was really unearned.
Yeah,
like, I was like, ooh, like they don't think this even pushed the story or anything. Like,
no,
and then they never bring back this armor. They don't ever. Yeah, I wasn't happy with that.
Yeah, it happens a lot. This is more earned than any of them. It makes sense from character perspective.
Yeah, and it also makes sense if you've put your glasses on in real life. You're like, oh, I get who this character is. I get what he's doing.
Yeah, oh, abso-fucking-lutely.
Like, I've had many of these conversations. Hell, you've had many of these conversations with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I don't need to put those glasses on, dude. Like, it's fine. Just fucking wear them, Levi. I'll get around to it.
So after the fight, Roddy manages to put the glasses on to Captain Anderson. And he's like, look, just fucking look, you moron. And he's like, oh shit. Okay, I'm on board. Yeah, from then on, they are absolutely teamed up.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we go from there?
This is one of the scenes that I liked, because they go into hiding, because they're like, okay, we need to figure out what we do. Like, because like, what's the plan? Like, lay low, bide our time, I guess. And the reason I liked it, it's got a bit of a Terminator-y feel. Like when the Terminator goes back to his apartment and he's like, what was it, like, damage received, must perform like surgeries. And that's kind of what they do. They like, because they got into a fight with each other, they got bloodied up. They actually are like, yeah. And I was like, the makeup actually looked quite convincing. It even looks a little bit like there's swelling on the face. I was like, wow.
It's also so rare to see like just a fight, like a fist fight, actually have repercussions like that in the movie.
Like, the timescale for it later doesn't really make sense because those wounds do disappear. Like, it's like 1 day or so. But like, yeah, the fact that there was actual injuries and like they were like, yeah, no, these two guys were punching each other, so they cut their knuckles punching each other.
Especially in the 80s, an era where like people were shrugging off bullets.
Yeah. So
that was the era of it's only a flesh wound.
Right?
It's like, which always gets me, only a flesh wound. All wounds are flesh wounds. I am made exclusively of flesh.
Right? Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't think there's anywhere on the body that you can just like cut off and you're just fine.
No.
Like, if you cut off like your little finger, I don't know, the whole rest of that hand is kind of going to be out of commission, man. Like,
for a while,
I can't deal with that. Like,
well, my dad lost 2 digits, right, in 2 separate accidents, because years apart, decades apart.
That's just unlucky.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. But I know he said when he lost his thumb, I think it was my mum that told me about this actually, that when he lost his thumb, he just kept fucking forgetting. So like they'd be in the pub and he'd try and just pick up 3 glasses together, but he didn't have the thumb to do it with.
Oh man.
So it's like, it takes a long time to adjust to shit. Like, something being out of commission, it's not just like an immediate thing you can adjust to. It takes like, a long fucking time before you're like, oh yeah, I need to actually relearn how to do things without it. Also, he, just weird aside, but he struggled to play any games that had a function where if you like push down on the right D-pad, right joystick, it did something. So like sometimes that's crouch or like actually often that's melee.
Like shooters.
So like watching him playing like Far Cry was kind of hilarious because he'd just be like trying to aim down a like sniper rifle or something, and then he'd just randomly like hit nothing. It's his own fault though. I told him so many times to just change the settings, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not fucking around with it."
It's like, you only have to do it one time.
Yeah, they get kind of bloodied up. They go into hiding, and then how do they end up at the stronghold?
I can't remember how they get to the stronghold. They're walking on the street, trying to figure out where to go. I think they're getting some supplies, and then they go in the shop and they see one of the guys from the church.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's one of those. Okay, this movie is very, very well paced, but sometimes things like it's like this needs to happen now, so it's gonna happen now, and that feels like one of those moments.
I get that. Like, the thing for me is, I'm a bit like, well, they could have technically just been hanging around for ages. Like,
you don't really know the time scale.
Yeah,
so,
like for brevity's sake, it's probably on the same day. But like in reality, these two guys are just gonna spend their time wandering around with these
Yeah,
glasses
so
on
for all
from
we
this
know, it
point
could have been a
onwards.
couple of weeks
So,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like, we don't know.
It could be, like, if you were going to say, is it real life? If you wanted to say it was real life, you would just say, okay, yeah, they just carried on. And then somebody was like, hey, you're wearing these glasses.
Oh, yeah, it's forgivable. It's not like this ridiculous contrivance. Like, it's fine. But it is, it's clearly the decision was made for pacing reasons more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes you don't get a movie this well paced without some sacrifices to certain things.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's a reasonable decision. So, yeah, they end up in this stronghold, which is some of the people from the church and some other people who have, like, joined this kind of resistance movement. They've swapped out the sunglasses for, contacts. And the contacts now do the same thing, but they don't give people the headaches that you get from wearing the sunglasses, which is a thing, which also came from the TV signal, and this allows them to see without it like hurting them,
and also it makes them less obvious as well.
It means that they can kind of they can pass for just.
It does ruin my thing a little bit though, like.
No, I think it still works.
Oh, I can't say it's some point in your contacts. Unless
it still works with the glasses because the glasses it works as an earlier thing.
So no man, I've got a thing. So it doesn't exist because no one on the left can do this, but like, it's impossible, man. We just have to open our mouths. But like you got like instead of hiding your power levels, like that guy's wearing contacts. He's like, that guy's wearing contacts. You're like, oh shit, like
oh yeah. So someone's overt. They're in the glasses. But they've gone full shades. But like someone, yeah, I like that. That works.
This is I'm totally saying we
oh man, we don't do larpy shit like that. But like,
right?
Maybe we should start. It's working for the right. They love that shit.
I'm totally gonna start doing it. I don't care. I'm telling my friends like, put on your glasses, man.
Hells yes. So they're in the stronghold. They get like the contacts. The chick that Roddy made like the one who threw him out the window. She shows up. And she's like, okay, so I'm with you guys. Like
she's like there was glasses at the apartment, so like I put them on and oh my god, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for, like, I'm glad I didn't kill you by throwing you out the window.
Yeah. So they are like kind of trying to figure out what they're doing. They're kind of still doing the like we've got to bide our time thing.
Yeah.
It's just now there's more of them and they've got guns and grenades and
and one guy's like, we need to take the fight to them, and he's like, we are literally a room full of guys. We aren't gonna win that fight.
Yeah.
We need to bide our time, and they're like, that's bullshit. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And while they're talking, kablam!
Yeah.
Kablamos!
Yeah.
Kablam!
Yeah, they get raided.
The police
come in and just start fucking shooting everyone.
Yeah.
So, but I got these. I said those wristwatches. That's one thing I forgot to mention. So one alien used that wristwatch communicator thing to teleport away earlier in the movie. Roddy Piper and Captain Anderson, they get a couple of these wristwatches. So they teleport to the TV studio.
It's a weird... They teleport in a really weird way, though. Like, managed to make a portal on the ground.
Yeah. It's like...
Like, like, we spotted you, portal. Like, nice try, guys.
Yeah. They're in the TV studio now, and they're just kind of... Well, at first, they're just in this weird grey corridor, which I'm pretty sure is like a parking garage or something. It looks like a multi-story car park. And they're like wandering around, and they go into this big like banquet hall.
Yeah, it's so weird because they're like, where are we? I don't know. Like, what's going on? They see a couple of soldiers. They're like, yeah, we won. We killed them all. You know, oh, that doesn't sound right.
So they go in. Yeah, it's just this big like old-fashioned banquet hall, which is in a TV studio.
Oh yeah, because the TV studio is above.
Yeah. It's like, what is this building?
Yeah, it's like an industrial factory with a banquet hall and a TV studio above. Okay.
All in like a tower block type setup.
Yeah.
So it's like an office building.
And
like, well, all right. It's cool. I mean, it seems like what they did was they shot in a bunch of different locations for each scene. But I'm sure this is just an interestingly laid out building. So yeah, they go in and it's like, okay, so the aliens have got like the human elites that they're working alongside, and they're having it's the human elites that are having this banquet, and there's like this alien like talking to them, and it's like, and you're all gonna be filthy fucking rich now, and like, because you've chosen to work for us. And then the foreman from the
job that the guys had at the start.
Yeah, he's there, and he's like, "Hey, glad to see you signed up."
Yeah.
So he's like, have you taken a look around? And it's like, no, we haven't had a chance yet. So he's like showing him around. There's like a teleporter that's going to like the
Andromeda Galaxy.
The Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah. I'm like, shit. Like Captain Anderson's like, we can't go to Andromeda, Shepard. Like, we've got to stay here to fight the Reapers.
So they go upstairs then to the TV studio because he's like, and the soldier. Well, there's a soldier up there guarding it, which is really weird because it turns out the TV studio, like the people working there, don't know about the aliens. They're just regular people.
Some of them are regular.
Well, some of them are regular, but it's like. So you guys just think it's like normal to have like fully armed like military guys in a TV studio? Like I've been in TV studios. That's not what their security are. It's like
I guess like anything's normal if you do it long enough, right?
Well, I suppose one of the soldiers who's guarding the place is like, "Where are your identifications?" He's like, "We got our identifications right here," and they fucking pull the guns out and. Don't they say it in unison as well? It's like
I think so.
Roddy Piper and Captain Anderson were both like, right here. It's like, oh man, they were in sync on that one. So they shoot up the newsroom. Or they shoot the aliens anyway.
Yeah.
Who, like the two presenters are aliens.
The foreman is like...
Oh no, they don't shoot the presenters.
No, they shoot the two soldiers.
They
and
shoot
they're
the
like,
two soldiers,
soundproof glass.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
right. Because the foreman teleports out.
Yeah, he's like, come on, boys. Like, if you're going to win, you might as well be on the winning side, like, right? Like, if you're going to sell out, you might as well sell out to the winning side. That was it.
Yeah.
And then, like, when some other guys show up, he's like, see you later, suckers.
Yeah.
And teleports away.
Yeah. They kind of, like, are running around. It's like, oh, the chick that Roddy Piper kidnapped, like she works there, so we just need to find her. And
so they start asking around.
For her, and you know, and they're kind of, you know, they're shooting the military guys at the same time, and there's that real like, you know,
and then
thing. It's like, oh shit,
out of nowhere. She's just there.
She's just there. And they, like, grab her. It's really weird because she doesn't, like, acknowledge them at all. It's it's really odd. They just run and grab her and she's just completely silent.
Yeah,
it's really odd.
It's a weird take. I would have kind of had her say something like, oh, wow, how did you get here?
Even just making a noise. Like, any sort of just noise of like an exclaim sort of sound or something. But to completely silent. It's an odd take. It's shot really, really wide as well. It's just a weird sort of moment.
Yeah.
I feel like parts of this movie were a little bit rushed production-wise.
Yeah.
There is a feel of that.
I think the movie probably had a lower budget.
They're like, oh, where's the transmitter? It's like, it's on the roof. It's like, no shit. Obviously. Where else would it be? It's a satellite transmitter.
Maybe they want to transmit through the ground.
So they go up to the roof and they're like, you've got to shoot this thing. And but as Roddy's going upstairs, oh shit, that chick's like, she's sold out to the aliens.
Yeah, she's like, surprise, I was always on their side.
Yeah. So she shoots Captain Anderson, and then like Ronnie's about to shoot the transmitter, and he's like, "Are you two clear?" It's like, "I'm clear." But she doesn't shoot him. She just points the gun at him.
Yeah.
Every decision she makes up to that point is like really smart.
Yeah.
And then like that's the one moment where it's like, man, you're just stupid on that.
Yeah, it's like, what? Why is this? Why are you doing a movie thing?
Yeah.
Like,
and like the police helicopter comes up, and like she's like, drop the gun, and so he drops the gun, and then he pulls another gun out of his sleeve and just fucking shoots her.
Yeah.
Like zero hesitation. And then shoots the transmitter, gets shot by the police, and it shuts off the signal. There's that final shot of him where he's just flipping off the police.
Fuck the police.
And then the film just ends on like a montage of different reactions to the aliens being revealed.
Like,
so you get like the TV studio, and like everyone runs out of the studio, like all the regular people who aren't in on it. Like,
there's also the great scene where you've got like some random Christian like evangelical being like, there's just too much violence in like movies.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
days.
He's like people like John Romero and John Carpenter. George Romero, even John Romero made Doom. George Romero and John Carpenter, like people like this are just just
the worst.
They're degrading society, you know. There's like and then it's like the final one is just some dude who's having sex.
Yeah, like some prostitute's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, what was it? She's just literally like Foxy Love, like, oh, daddy.
What I like is that
really
I like the fact that the first thing she sees is it's just some adverts playing on TV, and one of the people in the advert is an alien, and like she's like watching the TV while she's having sex. Like she looks at the TV, she's like, oh, that's a weird advert. Like there's not much of a reaction. It's just like a very slight reaction. Like, why would they do that? And then like she looks down, and he's just like one of those aliens as well, and he's like, what's wrong, baby? And then that's the end of the film. It just cuts to credits from that. So overall, great schlock, like the best schlock, and it's like overtly fucking left wing.
Yeah, all right.
Although apparently not so overtly that right wingers still haven't like co-opted it, even though it's barely even allegory. It's barely fucking allegory. When you have like money, when you have notes of money that say this is your god, and like signs in windows saying consume,
right?
Like what the fuck? No, it's about the Jews, obviously. Yeah. It's about the Jews. Like no, it's clearly just about capitalism. Like it could not be clearer. The only way it could be clearer is if there was a fucking slide at the end of the film that just said, by the way, this was all about capitalism.
I ain't even gonna lie, like, I feel that needs to start happening in, like, certain movies.
I think it does. I honestly think it does. Because the thing is, it turns out that that you can't be too obvious. Like, unless you're out and out saying it, people will manage to misinterpret it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, obviously there is always the element of you can just take readings no matter what, but a lot of the time, like, you're like, when they take readings, you're like, I don't understand how you even got that. Like, you just have to not be reading the movie at all, or media. Like, it always gets me when, like, I'm going to the Abby Shapiro, where it's her and her husband, and they're like, so BioShock is this great example of as to why you need more conservatism.
It's a film. It's a film taking the piss out of Ayn Rand.
Yeah, like the game is like literally Andrew Ryan, Ayn Rand. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah, it's the community in Atlas Shrugged, but underwater.
Yeah, like they're literally libertarians, so they're right wing. There's no government. Like. They have what's not the wheel, but the Great Chain. Like it's all there.
Yeah. It's
and
very
this is
obvious.
why you need more conservatism.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like this film is actively mocking rampant conservatism. I say film.
Yeah,
the game is mocking rampant conservatism. But like this movie is less subtle than BioShock. This movie has zero subtlety.
Right, like
it is just like, yeah, look, you know what this is about. I know what this is about. Come on.
Yeah, like the scenes are very obvious as well. Like, because you have what was it? The first guy you see is an old man who's like in a business suit and he's like a monster. You're like, okay. Then you see like a rich lady. Oh, you see you see her looking to a barbershop and there's just like a bunch of ladies and one lady in the middle is there. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But then he looks over to his left and then he sees like a bunch of ladies again, but this time it's one woman just talking happily, putting her stuff in her car. And the other two ladies are like a maid and like I don't know, maybe a wet nurse or some shit.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and they're regular people.
Yeah, and they just look miserable. And you're like, oh, this is super obvious what we're talking about here. Like, these are working class people versus like fucking the bourgeoisie, right? Proletariats,
and you know, the only people who are regular people who are on the side of the aliens are, you know, there's the ones that sold out to them.
This is the thing that
like,
I think...
That's the class traitor element, right? It's like...
This is the thing that I was wondering about in the movie, because I was like... to me, it seemed like that lady was the only person who was still a person, but not a monster. Like, it was really... I really did like it because, like, you go... When he drives, he sees her, she hasn't got, like, a monster face, so he hops in the car with her and he's like, drive. She takes him back to her house, and when they go into the house is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really nice. And I was like, well, she's a working class woman. The house is very nice. So, you know, here's me doing like some fucking analysis. So I was like, well, technically, you don't actually become bourgeoisie until it's actually the majority of your income that comes in as passive income rather than worked income. So you can be a shopkeeper, and if you're working in the shop, although you own the business, you're still working class because you work there. Even if you hire and have employees, you would still technically be working class. It's only when you reach a certain level. So I was like, is this a thing? But like, I was like, this is way more money than I think that she should reasonably be able to have without being like a monster, right? I was like, unless she's got like a monster boyfriend? But she said she didn't have a boyfriend. So that was actually the first thing that made me go, I don't know if we can trust this lady. But like, he throws him out the window. And I do quite like it because, what was it? The next scene that you see that her in is at the resistance meeting. Sorry, thank you. Where again, you're like, how did she get there? Like, how did she know about it? Well, which is kind of obvious. Like, they were tailing like our guys, and they got in, right. And she clearly was there to like make confirmation or make the strike. But again, there's that level of plausible deniability where you're like, oh, maybe they just got busted. But for me, the thing I was just trying to figure out more than anything is like, what's the dividing line? Because you never get a shot of the foreman, because the foreman seems like he was maybe a low-key alright guy, but you do get a shot of everybody else in the room, and those elites, they were still monster people. So my thoughts are they being taken over by aliens, or is there just a certain part where when you sell out, like, they infect you and you start to become, or do you start like selling out and like just by the inherent nature of capitalism, like you don't have to, like, I don't know, you know, like where it's like, we are the Walking Dead. It's like you're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
infected with like a thing, and after you reach a certain level of wealth status, you have to exploit people a certain amount, and you just take enough like sanity damage or something that you turn into a monster. Like you just turn into a ghoul, man. Like it's just what happens.
I will say, I think you're thinking about it more than John Carpenter did.
Yeah, it's just actually
But it is
really
interesting.
fascinating. I was like, this is
See,
a
now
cool
you've got
thing.
me thinking this could be another one that could actually make an okay TV show.
Yeah. Oh, hella yeah. Like I was kind of like, I would love to see this as like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. It's one of those things because we've done 2 movies now where we've said this, right? But I normally don't like TV shows that are adapted from movies. There's like a small number of exceptions to that. But for the most part, they don't end up very good.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are exceptions. You know, The Sopranos, Buffy. Like there's a few. There's a few. Fargo was really good, but like a lot of the time, taking a short form narrative and stretching out to a long form narrative doesn't work too great. Especially if that's what they do as well, where they're actually just stretching out the narrative. The From Dusk Till Dawn series did that.
Yeah.
It was like basically like. There were like 2 episodes dedicated to the fucking shop shootout from the beginning of the movie.
Hey man, like Dragon Ball Super tried doing that shit. Like, why would you turn like movies into 2 seasons? Like 2 movies into 2 seasons, and you don't add anything? Whoo, that's a bad idea, guys. Like, you're not gonna expand on anything. Give it a scene where Goku and Vegeta like learn Super Saiyan Blue. No. You're still just going to have them like just show up and just do it. Even though you specifically showed them in the training to learn Super Saiyan Blue. Wow. This series is not good.
Yeah, I actually do think this could make an okay TV show.
Oh, yeah.
I think, I mean, not even based around any of the characters in this. Just...
It could just be set now. Like, and just do like... just the premise idea, like I think just the idea premise of like, well, this is why it won't ever happen, but like, you know, I think the idea of like just a bunch of capitalists being monsters and like just fucking with the world and regular people trying to figure out how to build a resistance would be a really great movie, or series even, sorry, but yeah, that's never going to happen. Especially if you look at the way things are going right now, where everything is just like, any form of radical change is bad. You just need milquetoast reforms.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I see you, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
You need to do better.
Why?
No, I've said that. I trust that you will.
Yeah, it's not like anyone has like motives where perhaps they don't want to do better on purpose.
Yeah.
The motivation to do better will carry them through. It just flies away.
Even fucking worse than Black Panther. I cannot believe, like, Black Panther had the most disappointing lib ending, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier was just like fucking hold my beer, like that was like straight up. No, we are gonna give you the most lib ending possible by not addressing anything we set up. We're just gonna vaguely point to the problem and say that the radical solution is the bad one, but not give you the non-radical solution at all.
Right, like. It's insane because like I would love to see a superhero series where like, you know, they just see Kwame Ture's what was it, amazing like quote, hold on, I'll pull it up so that I don't butcher it. Is it not violence for a child to go to bed hungry in the richest country in the world? I think that it is violence, but that type of violence is so institutionalized that it has become a part of our way of life. Not only do we accept poverty, we find it normal. Damn, man. Like, why is Superman not just like, hey, you're like the governor of the state, and there were some homeless people that died from like exposure. You murdered those people. You're going to jail now. And they're like, I didn't kill him. Yeah, but you could have done something about it. So you're going to jail now. It's like, Superman, can you not? No, I'm Superman. Like, going to fucking jail. Like,
go to jail.
I would just like if he was like, you go to jail. And then like the next guy who like he's like, who's taking his place? And he's like, do better. That would be a sick line.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. So I guess we're sort of wrapped on like the movie, unless there was any other major thing. Oh, actually, no, there is some other stuff.
Yeah,
the fucking music is great.
Oh, you know what?
I love this movie's music. Like, I mean, this was another one that John Carpenter scored himself. He does that a lot, and I like John Carpenter's scores. I know people are like iffy on that. I know there are mixed opinions on the Escape from New York score. I personally love it. You know, I think the score, obviously, like he scored Halloween, which was great. Yeah, it's all synth score and stuff like that, but it's really good, especially the more atmospheric stuff that happens. Like, it's like
I don't specifically have any specific tracks that like stand out. There's nothing in there where I'm like, this sounds like shit. But for me, I was like, yeah, it's like the 80s, man. Like that was basically just my headpiece thing. For me, I would have loved it if there was like, I don't know, not a Terminator theme, because like, actually, is that just Terminator 2? The do-doom, doom, do-doom?
No, it's in the first one.
That is in the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, because the thing from the first one I remember more than anything is just do-do-do-do.
Yeah, no,
I really like that, and I don't think there's anything else really going on in that track. But I'm like, yeah, it just feels oppressive.
Yeah.
It really sets it.
No, I mean, it did have that definite 80s sort of sound to it. I think it's less about the memorability of it. It's more that it works very well for what's going on.
And it does suit the tone of the film. Like it's interesting to have quite a light-hearted movie that has quite a serious message and like thing going on. Like,
but I think what the music manages to do as well is actually provide quite a lot of atmosphere, because the film itself, if you were to just look, if you had a different soundtrack, the film would lose a lot of its atmosphere right away, because a lot of it is shot in like broad daylight. It's like this hyper well lit. It's lit like a TV movie, to be honest. Like even the indoor shots are very evenly lit, and it's really hard to maintain any real atmosphere in those circumstances. So the score is carrying all of that weight. Now, it's well shot and everything, because, I mean, it's a John Carpenter movie. The guy knows his fucking craft, you know what I mean? In terms of, like, the sets and everything, they're pretty good. Like the shantytown and everything, it carries the sort of the sort of desperate nature of the situation relatively well. It looks very real. I think that's partly where this is where sometimes limitations on film can be a good thing. Because they didn't have much money, they basically just had to do it for real.
Yeah, it's like, get some wooden plywood. And like, I don't know if the set's going to look too good. It's a bit run down. It's fucking shantytown, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of the time, when you see, like, these kind of shantytowns in movies, 9 times out of 10, they're these, like, really hyper well-constructed, like, hut-type things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, guys.
I still think this is such an odd...
Like, somewhere like that's fine,
favorite.
by the way, if it's supposed to be set somewhere like Brazil, where people are there way more permanently.
Yeah.
But somewhere like America, where they usually moved on, they never get to be that good.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to be there for probably like maybe a month at best.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, one of my favourite shantytowns... Well, actually, I have kind of two. My absolute favourite shantytown is in District 9.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
God,
that,
it's just so good. There's, like, just this... Wow.
Yeah,
like,
that's another movie we need to cover at some point.
So
but yeah,
good. Have we not already done it?
We've not done District 9
Holy
yet,
shit,
no.
I thought we already did it.
No.
Alright, well, I'm crazy. But then not only that, but there was also the shantytown from Bad Boys 2.
Oh, yeah.
The thing I really like about it is, I'm like, wow, this actually looks really good. For a shantytown that basically you built just so you could drive through it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that. I like the film craft of like, yeah, we're gonna build this shantytown, then we set up some cameras inside, and then we like roll, and then just drove cars through.
Yeah, and I mean that's a great scene as well. Like yeah, definitely. But this one looks really good, and I think the reason it looks really good is because they couldn't overdo it. They couldn't overbuild it.
Yeah.
Because something like even in District 9 or Bad Boys would look overbuilt in this instance. Because it contextually speaking, it just wouldn't be that realistic for an American sort of homeless sort of thing where, it's probably not, it's hastily put together so that they can just move quickly.
It's got some real elements of things like I've seen some stuff, not obviously in real life, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. But it is like the boxes, like wooden pallets that have blankets.
Yeah, the only thing it didn't have was tents. It's the only thing that maybe would have added to it.
Okay,
pop-up tents are pretty common.
Yeah, I guess you're right on that.
I mean, there was that one in Northampton. Like, do you remember on
the
the bus station, where the old bus station was? Yeah. We live in a shitty town.
Yeah.
Fucking years of conservative.
Yeah, it's really scary how it's like, hey, because they were there a long time as well. I don't know if I couldn't remember if you was around.
I wasn't living up here, but I was coming up and up.
Because like, holy shit, man, they were there for literally months.
Yeah.
Which part of me was like, at least they're not moving them on, but like at the same time, it's like, wow. These guys have been here for like literally months. This is
I think
really
part
bad.
Of the reason, this is going to be... I was going to say this would be meaningless to people listening. No, it won't, because the people listening are Peter and Anwar. You live here, you know. But like, I think part of the reason it didn't move on was because, like, for so long, is because who was going to complain about it? I was ruining the view of the Mounts car park. Like,
I
think that's part of it.
You're right. Like, that section of town doesn't really get viewed in.
No,
like,
I mean it probably will do now because they're building those like that high rise there. But I think that was part of the reason. It's just that there was nobody to complain, because that's the biggest problem a lot of the time is people fucking moan. Because they have to look at homelessness and it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like, well then maybe you should put your fucking glasses on.
Yeah, put your glasses on. That's something. It does need to be a thing.
Yeah,
it's good. I did write this down just as a thing. It's like, it is really great to have a protagonist in a fucking action movie who's just homeless.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Yeah.
It's like this Hobo with a Shotgun, but Hobo with a Shotgun's like a campy movie.
Yeah,
right?
I
mean, this is campy, but it's also got a more serious type message to it.
I was a little, not massively, but a little disappointed by Hobo with a Shotgun, because I don't know why, but I was like, this is probably going to end up being him, like, just fighting a load of, like, corporates or something. And,
it
didn't happen. I was like, he's just fighting some gangs. Like,
that's a movie that says nothing. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun movie. Rutger Hauer was fucking great in it.
Yeah, but, like...
As was, I don't know the actual actor's name, but Stanley Tweedle from Lex, who was, the Drake, the main villain. He was fucking great. The performances were really good. It was a lot of fun. But that was a film that said nothing.
Yeah. I was like, come on, man. Like, if you're going to do a movie where you got a guy who's literally homeless, like... And by the way... have him fight gangs.
Yeah. By the way, if any of you are going to be like, but I mean, it was just a campy movie based on a fake Grindhouse trailer. So was Machete, and that movie said something.
I've not seen Machete.
Oh, dude, we need to watch that. That's that's like fucking a Mexican day laborer fighting fucking racist politicians. Like,
amazing. It isn't.
I mean, he's fighting gangs as well, but it's like,
isn't Lindsay Lohan in that movie?
She is in that movie, not for very long, but she is in the film.
I still remember because Lindsay Lohan was like my first what's it called, Hollywood crush, I guess. What was it? Mean Girls? Yeah, Mean Girls.
Right.
Man, I don't know how old I would have been when that movie came out, 12 or some shit?
I don't know.
I was like, holy crap. One, this movie is kind of good. I can't let anyone know that I'm watching a movie called Mean Girls because misogyny exists. But that was not how I knew it to be. But I was like, I can't let people know, but I like this movie. It's good. Also, Lindsay is really freaking pretty. This is crazy. And then she just went off the rails, and I was like,
Yeah, it kind of morphed more into my area.
like, what?
I have issues. But
Like,
you should see my Tinder match list. It's always Jesus Christ. I'm seldom proud of myself. But anyway, any other things to sort of add?
No, that's.
Yeah, I think we've got it covered.
I think I've covered all my pieces and bases.
Okay. Yeah. So, Hobo with a Shotgun, good movie. Hobo with a Shotgun. That's because we went on a tangent. That is a good movie. But They Live, good movie.
It is a good movie.
You should watch it if you haven't already, which you probably have because, well, Anwar, you've probably seen it anyway. Peter, you'll have watched it to watch this.
It was on Netflix.
And
which we probably should have said before.
It wouldn't really matter because it's off of Netflix on the 30th, and I probably won't have this uploaded by then.
All right.
So
I'll DM you.
It might not be on Netflix.
Like, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, guys. If you could do the famous things of liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Haha, because you gotta grow that audience, baby.
Yeah. Thanks to our patron, Peter. Until next time, Ian Beale.
Ian Beale.
We're so good at this YouTube shit.
Yeah.